And yet again, another deck video, guys. I will explain this real quick, and then we're going to do a story time today, and you'll see why once I explain. The story time is going to have to do with something with the heat. See, since we've been getting this horrible heat, and this dangerous heat, I ain't been able to do a whole bunch. Not a whole bunch at all. And when I do get the time to do it at the evening times, it's like go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. Zero time in between. And I don't actually get done until about 11:30, 12 at midnight. So let's get started here, okay? Let's start a story time. Let's talk a little bit about this dangerous heat. For the last several days, we've been dealing with this dangerous heat. It's been close to 100. Humidity's been extremely high, and the air quality isn't safe to breathe. Now, when the air quality gets like that, I actually can feel it. I could definitely feel it. Now, when I've been doing my walks, I've been doing it at night, okay, after the sun goes down, until this weather breaks. And our hope, believe it or not, we're hoping for rain. Everybody is. And if I get rain, it'll help me. See, I'm watching Ruby for the next many days. And if I actually get rain, I won't have to water the garden up there. So it actually helped me. But all this heat and humidity reminds me of something. It reminds me of a horrible day I had on a job once. A nightmare of a day. This takes place, I'm guessing I was about the age of 21. I was very young. At this particular time in my life, I wanted to get out of the cooking business for a little bit. So there for about a year or two, I picked up other jobs that was completely opposite of cooking. Now, I can't mention the name of the place I work for, and I can't mention the place I was at, because it just wouldn't be right, alright? Only thing I can tell you is what happened. Well, I worked for a place that was industrial cleaning. And what they did was they would go into factories and stuff, and they would do the cleaning that nobody else wanted to do. It was nasty, dirty, and a lot of hard work. And one of these factories we went into was a place they made soap. Yeah, soap. You wouldn't think a place that makes soap would be all that nasty, but it was. Now, I had lots of different jobs with this outfit. The outfit was very known at the time for accidents, okay? As a matter of fact, when I got hired on there, I didn't pay attention to the guy. He told me, well, accidents are actually down 30-some% this year. I didn't pay no attention to that. I should have. Some of the jobs that I did for this company, which we went to many different places, many factories. Some of the jobs were pretty fun. One of the jobs was I had to go into buildings way up in top of the rafters and basically clean the dust off of them. That was fun, actually. I enjoyed that. A few other jobs I would do was pretty easy, but one day they took me a place where they made soap. And when we got there, there was this big, huge pool of lye. And they needed to move that lye to the tanks. And I guess their machines were broken, so we had to get on our safety gear and go down in that lye and suck that lye up with high, powerful vacuum hoses. Now, the lye was heated, but not too hot where it would burn us. The temperature that day was over 100 degrees. I'm hearing my neighbors next door, and I could hear the little ones having all kinds of fun. I'm betting you they got a pool over there. I'm just taking a guess. More than likely they have a pool over there, and they're all enjoying themselves. But anyway, I get out there, and I get into the lye, and I would be out there. Now, it was like 6 hours on, 6 hours off. Well, no, 6 hours on, then they'd transfer you to another job. And what the foreman would do is he would take a garden hose every, 15 minutes and squirt us down to keep us cool. Just squirt at us. I was thankful for that, so was the other employees. So I did that for 6 hours in the heat. Only able to drink a little bit at a time. getting squirted down like maybe every 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So it was 6 hours. It's time for them to move me on to my other job at this factory. This is where it gets interesting. This other job has something to do with an underground, I want to call well. Yeah, see, well, it was one of my jobs with this company as well. We'd go down to sewer systems and clean them out too. So going down inside the ground was no big deal, you know. I had protective air mask. I had all that stuff. All that stuff I was fitted for. They also did a little bit of sand blasting here and there and water blasting. But this particular job, I had to go down in the ground, and there was some kind of chemical. I had to basically put my hose in, and it will suck that chemical up and put it into another machine. And I was lowered down on a swing. Now, what they failed to check was the oxygen level in that tank, and they failed to check the temperature inside there. And once I got in there, you were supposed to have a guy on top, a safety guy at the top of the tank, and he was up there just in case something went wrong. And he could get your ass out of that tank. Well, as soon as I got lowered in the tank, he decided to go have a cigarette break. I don't know how many feet down in the ground I was. I have no idea, but I knew instantly when I started getting down in there, it wasn't that easy to breathe, which I was able to breathe, but it was so freaking hot. Oh my God, it was so hot. Well, I don't know how long I was in there because I passed out. Literally passed out. Out cold. All I know is I'm being pulled out of that tank. I don't remember that either. I remember when I started coming to is when I was being put in the back of a pickup. But here's what happened in between then and now. They evidently got me out of the tanks. They figured out there was a problem. Took me outside. Was able to pull off some dry ice of one of the, I don't know what the hell they were called. Trying to put that on my arms and my hands and my face. And I was coming to evidently at the time. They was asking me, do you know who you are? I didn't know who I was. Do you know where you're at? I didn't know where I was at. I kept shaking. I was shaking like a leaf. I was freezing to death. Well, something else happened too. I'm going to keep out of this video. I'm not happy with. But they had me sign something, and I did. Like I said, I wasn't coherent. Next thing I know is I am starting to get a little bit of my senses back, and they're throwing me in the back of a pickup, taking my ass to the hospital. I get to the hospital and I spend something like 12 hours there. They put IVs in me, kept giving me drink water. I had heat exhaustion, guys. Yeah. And that brings me to the next part of the story. Whenever we have temperatures like it is today, and like it is basically been for several days, I don't do well in the heat. Ever since that one time, I don't do well in the heat now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it weakened my body somehow, but every time it gets super hot, I don't do well. Even when I walk at night. Grant you take away the sun, but you still have the humidity, and the heat's still there. Only way I can do that is if I stop and I drink. I grab a water and I drink. And yesterday I drank so much, when I got done walking, I had a stomach ache from drinking so much water. I tell you, well, what happened was I basically got the next 3 days off that job, and my father says, no, Michael, you ain't going back there. Nah. That's the only time Dad ever told me to quit a job. The only time he ever told me to quit a job. He says, that place is too dangerous. No, So, yeah. You know what's funny is they didn't even pay good either. But I wanted something new in my life, you know. Like I said, some of the jobs I actually really did like. You know, I like going down these sewer systems. We will go down. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Okay, hold on. I'm going to show you something you may not know. Actually, I did say this once in my video, but I'm going to say it again. Underneath that turtle, as you see the turtle's on 2 concrete slabs. Underneath that turtle, underneath the concrete slabs, is what you call a cistern. Okay, the cistern goes deep in the ground, and the cistern is used to hold water. Okay, Back in the olden days, if they didn't have wells, they had cisterns, and the cisterns is what collected the rainwater, and that was what they used for their drinking, bathing, cooking, whatever. Well, that is an old cistern on my property. One of my jobs was to clean out people's cisterns. Some places today, and where we used to live before we moved here, we had to use a cistern. I totally loved that part of the job. Yeah. I also love getting thrown into the sewer systems. Yeah. And believe me, yes, there is rats in sewers. See, some of that job I did like doing. It was fun to me. I don't know why, but it was. I had a thing about going underneath the ground. Today, you couldn't get me anywhere near underneath the ground. But yeah, ever since then, the heat exhaustion, I don't do well out here. I don't do well at all. My temperatures, I will basically walk. I have my temperature set. I won't walk when it's over 86 degrees. I will wait until it cools down. I won't walk when it's below 18 degrees. I will walk at 18 providing the wind's not, this is in the wintertime, by the way. In the wintertime. Of course, obviously, if it's 18 degrees, it's winter. But yeah, I do basically watch myself in this heat. Like tonight when I walk, let me tell you what my schedule is. When here in a little bit, when temperatures cool down a little bit more, about 7 tonight, I got to go out there and take care of Ruby. I got to take care of the garden. I got to take care of the flowers. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes, everything I got to do. I get out there, it takes a little bit to get there too. So as soon as I get all that done, I get home, I pull in my driveway with my truck, I go inside, switch my clothes to my walking clothes, walking shoes on, fill up my bag, and then I go walk. Then as soon as I get done with that, then I got to come home and I got to make a late supper. Now, I could do the supper first, then go walk, but everybody in the house says, no, we just eat late, Dad. It's okay. We eat late. They're all in tune with that. And then I got to basically clean supper dishes afterwards, and then I got to get my shower. Then I can go to bed, and sometimes I can't hit my head on that pillow till about 1, 2 in the morning. Last night, it was a little earlier than I actually went to bed, 12:30, I think. All because I can't do much out here in the damn heat. Tomorrow morning is my day I mow my front yard. There's no way in hell I can mow that front yard in temperatures like we're having now. There's no way. Can you see if I'm sweating? I'm sweating like crazy right now. There's no way I could do grass in these temperatures. My body can't handle it. So what I have to do tomorrow morning is I have to get out here at 7 a.m. and mow that grass. Unless I do it the evening time, but that's going to really dicker things over because I walk the evening times. Well, hopefully the heat thing we got going on will break eventually. Until then, I just got to keep up with this schedule. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Now, let me tell you something. You might actually have a video Saturday and Sunday from me. They may be a weekend tidbit. Because there are some videos I haven't made yet I want to make out there. I want to give a report on Ruby. I want to take the video out, show you guys the garden I water, show you the flowers I water, and show you Ruby. And then I want to make some videos from their basement, which we're allowed to go down there and play with their pool table. And they have a ping pong table. I'm no good at that, I don't think. I want to make videos of that. So this 4th of July, we're spending the whole day out there. So that means maybe Friday's video would be of that. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Now, as far as our web series goes, we haven't had time to work on it anymore because of the crazy schedule we've been keeping around here. And the videos are still going to come, but you may see a lot of them on the back deck or from the green screen downstairs, which I used that recently. I did a favor for my nephew and his lovely wife, Miranda. I made a green screen video for her the other day for her company. Yeah, I would love to show you guys that, but I don't think I'd be allowed to show it on YouTube. Just saying. But anyway, guys, this is my story time. Sorry if this video wasn't up to snuff, but I'm not up to snuff at this moment. Right now I'm going inside, going to drink me some water, get my act together, and get ready here in about another hour and a half. Go feed Ruby, then come home and walk. And keep an eye on the sky, because if it starts raining, I gotta roll up the windows of my truck. Yeah, I got my truck windows all the way down. I don't care. Somebody wants to steal my stereo, they're more than welcome to it. I don't care. You ever try to get in a vehicle? Hotter than a firecracker? Even if you crack your windows, it doesn't seem to matter. Alright guys, until next time, come on, let's get out of here.